I have a very special guest here today. As you know, we have a really heated election year, and there are several candidates running for the new 47th district. And it's my pleasure to have sitting here next to me in a wonderful conversation with Amy Phan West.
Nancy, thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate that.
Absolutely. You know, you're running for the new 47th district. We had redistricting this year.
Right.
What cities does that incorporate?
So the new 47th district includes Seal Beach, Huntington Beach, Newport Beach, Laguna Beach, Costa Mesa, and Irvine.
Wonderful. Yeah, big expanse of cities there. Very important race.
Absolutely.
Amy, why are you running? That's probably the most important question that anybody will ask you.
Absolutely. It's very important to know your why when you're running for office,
Absolutely.
or else, you know, you get run over by the Democrats, tax and everything, right? It's not worth it if you don't know your why. So the reason why I'm running is as a mother, wife, small business owner. My dad served alongside the American during the fall of Saigon, and we see, what happened over in Vietnam, communism. My dad later was captured, tortured, and then released.
Oh my gosh.
And that's when we escaped in 1985 to America on his fishing boat. And at that time, my mom was 8 months pregnant with my younger sister, my older sister, my two twin younger brothers, and myself. And whatever food supply, water that we got, that's all we got in our fishing boat. But before he left, within that year, he had a vision of a man in white coming to him saying, "You must believe in me. You must escape Vietnam. You must believe in me." And so he's like, "God, if you're real, protect my family from Vietnam to America safe, and I'll worship you." At that time, they were Buddhism and ancestor worshipers. They didn't know God, right? And that's the only hope that he had. So he took us underneath his fishing boat. And then take us out in the early morning. And we ran out of fresh water in 3 days. But thank God the oil tanker took us in and give us water, food supply, and sent us over to Thailand refugee camps. And there we seek asylum. And I remember the condition was really poor and bad. People were fighting over spoiled food and fresh water to just survive. And you know what bothers me a lot is when AOC and the squad saying that Americans are so bad treating the illegal immigrant at the southern border, yet they have fresh water, hot shower, beds, medical care, and a center for their children to learn education, to get an education. And for me, we were sleeping on dirt ground. You know, it's a slap in my face, a slap on all those legal immigrants, and a slap on all the Americans. You know, when AOC and the squad, Talib and Omar, they were privileged to be able to be powerful sitting congresswomen. Yet they slap on our face saying how bad we are treating other people.
Yeah. Have they even gone to the border? I don't believe that
AOC had making her little cry face saying, "Oh my gosh, they're so bad," in her white suit,
yeah.
And so
I remember that.
It's just hilarious. They're just there for a photo shoot. That's all it is. They don't really care. And that's the problem. But, I just see our nation heading down. The Democrats are taking us down socialism, which would be communism. And I cannot stand by and see, as a citizen of America, as a mother, wife, and small business owner, having 3 boys, I can't see a future for them if we don't rise up and stand up and fight. And the problem with our system is Republicans are sending rhinos, politician lobbyists who become lobbyists, and they're no different. It's like a revolving door. And they have done nothing for the American people. They've done nothing to secure the border. They've done nothing, to defend pro-life. They've done nothing for our children, our business, and our way of life. It just gotten worse and worse because they are no different behind closed door. They serve the same master.
Right. I think sometimes the strongest patriots are the ones that have actually fled from socialism or communism. They've actually had to run with their shirt on their back, and they see the same happening here.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You're seeing the same happening here.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
With the censorship in the last 2 years with COVID lockdown, I mean, when have we to beg the government to worship God?
Right.
And how dare them to say you are essential and you are not?
Yeah.
our essentialness come from God. Our rights come from God.
Yeah. To allow the big box stores to stay open and they close the
The
small
small
mom
pop.
and pop.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's the purpose of all of that, as we know, is that they want to destroy the middle class. So they either have the elite, which is the establishment,
Right.
they're bureaucrats, and then the poor are just the normal people.
Yeah.
And that's how the system is in every country. If you look at any socialist country, Venezuela, that's the system.
That's a system. Right?
And then Cuba, look at communist country, Vietnam, China, North Korea.
Right.
It's all that same system.
With that in mind, I hear you're a big Second Amendment person.
Absolutely. I'm also on the board for the Orange County
Gun owners?
gun
Yeah.
owner. So I am. So I'm very pro Second Amendment because I have witnessed it. Where I fled from Vietnam, no one owned guns.
Right.
So we either comply, get shot, or bury alive by the communist regime. So that's why Second Amendment is so vital. I know many politicians come to DC saying, "Oh, I'm for Second Amendment," but yet they do nothing. It's only for election, right? They talk about those things,
Right.
but they do nothing. And for me to experience that and understand why we need Second Amendment to protect ourselves, defend our family, but not only that, to defend us from the government.
That's right,
Look
yeah.
at Canada right now, right?
Canada, Australia,
Australia.
New Zealand.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So that's why it's so vital that I am an actual Republican that will go and do what I say, because I'm not beholden to any special interests or lobbyists. Right. And, I can say, I will not kowtow down. I will not bow down. I will not back down to any lobbyist boss, right? Or within the boss of the Republican as well.
Wonderful.
So for me, they cannot control me. And they know that. That's why they don't want me. They've been sending me messages saying, get out of the race, because I'm beholden not to them at all. And so they can't control me. They want me to get out. And so that's why I'm running, because we cannot continue having the same people in office. They're no different. And it actually hurting us more than benefiting the people. Yeah. And, of course, I'm the biggest nightmare to Katie Porter, as you know, as a female woman immigrant legally here. I mean,
Well, Katie Porter has no ties here to Orange County. I mean, I
No.
was reading her page, and she had received 0.52 or 57% of her donations were from in the district, less than 1%.
absolutely.
Her number one donation industries would be Planned Parenthood and motion picture industry, right?
Yeah.
And the two top zip codes, 90049, that's downtown LA,
Yeah.
and of course 94115, San Francisco,
Absolutely.
with very little local enthusiasm or support.
Absolutely. And as we know, her base is not here in Orange County, not for her constituent. And that's the problem. She is planted here in 2018 to run by Nancy Pelosi.
And Elizabeth Warren.
Exactly,
Right, yeah.
exactly. So, as a resident here in Orange County for over 36 years. I went to Dwyer Middle School locally here, and then I went to Edison High, graduate there. I went to OCC and, graduate there with my business degree, and then I went to Cal State Long Beach to get my teaching degree. So I'm locally here. I'm
You know
planted.
the heartbeat
I know.
of Orange County. right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I know
So
the heartbeat
important.
of Orange County. And who best can represent the people than those that live here?
Right, right.
And I have my business here. I raise my children here.
Amy, are you pro-life?
Yes, I am 110% pro-life because as a mother of three boys, I know the Democrat playbook. They're into Planned Parenthood, twisting, motherhood into something that's so unwanted or
Right.
undesired. But yet, as a mother, I understand that I stand on this value, principal value of pro-life, defending life from the womb to the tomb. And it's so important to have a mother going to D.C. I mean, we sent men to D.C., but they can't speak on this issue as a mother do, right? A mother does.
Absolutely right,
And
yeah.
so that's why I think it's important to be able to go there and defend life and not only speak about it like every election, every politician, but to actually do something about it. and to make legislation to protect life from the womb.
Right, right. Yeah.
The other thing to have local endorsement from Pastor Jack Hibbs,
Right, yeah.
you know, and then Pastor Rob McCoy, who is a personal pastor of Charlie Kurt from Turning Point USA, and then also a former Concerned Woman for America director, Sherry Miller.
Right. Those
Here.
are some powerful endorsements.
Absolutely. And that they believe, you know, and they know I will stand and defend life.
Right, right. What's your thought on election integrity?
You know, it's very important to secure our election. And not only I going to DC to defend, to make sure that we have IDs for those who want to vote. As we know, they require IDs to fly on the plane, to get alcohol, you know, to drive and whatnot. But yet they say we're not smart enough to get ID, but yet they're forcing ID for a vaccine mandate, like in LA, right? In order for you to get a cup of coffee, you have to show your vaccine passport, or you
hamburger
cannot
at McDonald's. Yeah.
Absolutely. Or you cannot get a cup of coffee or to eat.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I escaped and fled from is the communist regime, where they know you're in and out. They know every checkpoint you're going to, who I'm going to visit, and what time, how long I'm going to stay there, and when I'm coming back. That's the same concept as an legal immigrant experienced communism. I see deeper that for the purpose of them getting the vaccine passport is to track people. And, you know, as Americans, I'm not going to let that happen. I'm not going to let communism come here to do that to us.
Securing the border, that's an important issue right now in the upcoming election. What is your position on that?
I am for securing the border. As a legal immigrant coming here, I understand I waited my turn, you know, to be here legally. And it is a slap in my face when we have open borders, right? And then not only that, with the problem is with Ukraine right now, they want to send our troops over there to secure their border and send the resource over there. But yet when we have an open border crisis, and yet our president and Kamala Harris not sending any troops there to protect, to secure that border, nor the resources. And it's sad because what happened with the open border is sex trafficking are going through that.
Drugs.
Then drugs as well, smuggling drugs that are killing our children. And as a mother, and you are a mother too, Nancy, I would never wish any mother have to bury their children before their turn, right? And we are doing that now. The rise in drugs that are killing our children are 100 times more than a year ago. And it's unacceptable when our government, Joe Biden, can secure that border.
Absolutely.
But he's choose not to. When I say I'm going to secure the border, you can count on that. I will secure the border.
That is very important, very important. Our education system, Amy, what a mess, what a mess. You know, I mean, now they're talking about forcibly, you know, giving injections to our students. You know, you need parent permission to go on a field trip or an aspirin at the nurse's office, right? But here they can forcibly inject our children without any liability, without consent. Yeah.
It's such a shame. For me, I believe that the children belongs to the parents, not the government, not the state of California. And that's where they got it wrong. Because our elected official become God in a way, and they dictate how our children should run. And yet they're pumping all this drugs into their system, but not only that, brainwashing them with all this critical race theory and sexualizing them. It's so perversion, you know, it's so unacceptable, the abuse that they are putting upon our children. And as a mother of 3 boys, and you have children as well, I cannot believe that we are allowing our children to go through this abuse. You know, with the whole Super Bowl, right? How all the elites, no one was wearing masks. And yet the day after, when we come back, the children are masked up. And I've been telling those children and their parents, like, let them go to school without a mask. Let's do a peacefully protest. Don't wear a mask. And you know what the school end up doing? They say this is a mandate from the state. So we If you choose not to wear a mask, this is what I'm dealing with right now. Once after they came back, I was calling Dwyer Middle School, I was calling Huntington Beach High School, I was calling Edison, Marina High School. I'm calling all the schools saying, what are you guys doing to our children?
Right.
You guys are, number one, you guys are intimidating them publicly, isolating them,
Absolutely.
like basically segregating them
Yeah.
into those who have masks and those who don't have masks. That is bullying beyond bullying. When you as the school system hates bullying, right?
Right.
Why are you doing it to our own children and subject them to this
Absolutely.
discrimination? And so I told them, this is a warning to the school board and to the principal of the school, because we Tiger parents are not going to have it anymore.
Right.
This is a warning to you. In this coming election, it's going to be a wave of getting rid of all of you guys when you guys supposed to solely responsible to protect our children at the school. That should be the safest place for them.
Right.
But yet they're going through this bullying, this isolation, this discrimination publicly before their peers. Now they're forcing them to get a vaccine.
Right.
If they're 12 and over, they can get a vaccine without the parent consent, knowing about it. It's so disgusting beyond. Well, I can never imagine that our children have to go through such thing. And plus, their brain, they're not fully developed to understand the concept, hey, if I get this vaccine or I get this, blocker, that I'm okay with it. No, it changed them. And a lot of kids who graduate into those who took the blocker and now they're high school and college age, they're regretting it. Mm-hmm. They have surgery without, now looking, they're like, oh, I don't have breasts anymore.
Yeah.
The school doesn't take liability.
Doesn't take any
the
liability.
pharma doesn't take any liability.
Right.
It's so disgusting beyond. So that's the more reason why I need to be in DC to make sure there's check and balance and that I'm taking inventory of because for Congress, we're not only passing the budget, but we need to evaluate where the budget's going, right? And that's something
you would think that would be important, right?
Right. And as a mother, a small business owner myself, we take inventory of our budget all the time.
Yeah.
And that's what we need. And that's my job. For example, I can give you one example of the bill. I think it was 5 years ago when they sent $10 million to the state of California, our state here, to deal with the homeless problem. They do the tent initiative, right? And they send $10 million every year, and it continued to go to California, $10 million, but we don't know where it is. The homeless crisis still rise. We're wasting our tax dollars towards something that has no result.
Right.
Yes.
That's wonderful. How can we help you?
Well, you know what? I would love your audience to, go on my page at Amy, A-M-Y, Phan, P-H-A-N, West, WEST.com. There, if they can chip in any amount, $20, $40. If they want to do more, they can. The max out is $2,900 per person. And this is a movement.
Absolutely.
This is a movement, and I would love for them to partner up with us, link arm with us in this movement to take back our nation, to take back our freedom, to preserve our way of life and protect our children. Yeah. So I love your audience to come on my page, amyphanwest.com, chip in any amount, 20, 40, 50 will be a huge blessing.
2022 is going to be a phenomenal year.
Absolutely.
And what they say is that when good people don't speak up, then the bad elements can take over.
Absolutely.
And Amy has taken the charge on this, and I admire her so much. I see you around all these different events, Amy.
Thank you.
And I just always admired her. She is afraid of nothing.
Absolutely. If I can survive the ordeal on the fishing boat, witnessing women, children getting raped and thrown overboard, witnessing people getting shot, my family getting shot and being buried alive, witnessing all that, I have thick skin. I have a backbone of steel that I know this is what our nation need right now, and this is what our children need right now. So I'm willing to go into this fight. It's not an easy fight, as you know.
No, it's not an easy one. Right.
Being attacked by the rhino establishment within our party, and not only that, the socialist, leftist, Democrat, every day, because I am a threat to them. I'm a threat to their power.
Right.
And I want to bring that power back to the people, and that's where it belongs.
Yeah.
And so that's the reason why. That's why I need your audience to donate, because I have not taken any money from any lobbyists or special interests because I serve the people.
That is so important.
I
to be
serve
able-
the people.
Right, yeah.
Well, Nancy, thank you so much for having me, and thank you everyone who's listening in today. God bless you, God bless your family, and God bless the United States
Thank
of
you,
America.
Amy. Absolutely. Thank you.